Look, I'll tell you about a really good film. This is 007 No Time to Die. I'll avoid spoilers because you don't want spoiler. Do you care about spoilers?
No, you can just spoil it. Fuck it. I'll watch it eventually, but it doesn't matter.
Do you want to know how they send off Daniel Craig's character and how they close the chapter?
Doesn't he like? Doesn't he
Am I
like
allowed
die or
to spoil
something?
that?
Or
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So 007
which he
No
won't,
Time to
because
Die.
they'll bring him back for whoever's the next Bond iteration.
Well,
so.
yeah. Well, it feels like with James Bond, and I should say before I get into it, I'm not a diehard James Bond fan. I haven't seen every single one. I haven't seen any of the Sean Connery ones, and I hear they're some of the best. I've seen a couple of Pierce Brosnan ones, which I'm told are the worst, and I've seen all the Daniel Craig ones. I love the Daniel Craig ones. I like how I have a lot of problems with the Bond franchise, but a lot of them are fixed with the Daniel Craig ones. I like how it's a bit more realistic. It's a bit more slightly grittier. It's a bit more down to earth. And I like how they continue into each other. Like the others, you could watch them out of order. The Daniel Craig James Bond films, they build into each other. And No Time to Die really builds on everything we've seen before, which I think is really great. And I think it's really exciting. If you're into like the old school Bond films where they're a bit more sci-fi and superhero-y, they sort of have a little bit more like that. There's a bit more gadgets and stuff, but it's still done within the tone of the world, which is really nice. I'll straight up say it now. This is my favorite James Bond film I've ever seen, without a doubt. Because my other problem I have with James Bond films is sometimes I feel like there's not much character moments. There's not a lot of emotional stakes or depth or character development. And I feel like I find it hard to connect to James Bond. But Daniel Craig, I've had the easiest time connecting to him because the writers have been trying to, make him a character. And this one is the best they've done that with. Like he's trying to leave behind there's a legacy he's leaving behind. There's characters he cares about, and he actually has goals in life outside of being a super spy. And I really like the themes of legacy in this. So they do a really great job of making me care about James Bond, which I think is great. The villain played by Rami Malek, though, he doesn't have a lot of screen time. I thought it was a bit underutilized.
How much was he in it?
I reckon he's got less than 20 minutes screen time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Like he pops up here and there, but they only really, he's got maybe 2 major scenes, I would say. But for the most part, it's maybe three, because he's sort of in the beginning, but you don't know it's him. He's wearing a mask or whatever. But what's cool about him though is his plan is this weapon, which is really cool. It's it's these little nanobot things, but you give them the DNA of who you want to kill, and they'll only kill that. So if you only want to kill someone from this family or someone from this country or whatever,
wow.
You could disperse it and it'll only kill the target it's told to kill. It's like a gas. And so there's a lot of cool themes of the morality of the weapons and stuff like that, which is, not new to James Bond, but they do it really well. There's also an incredible action sequence in a staircase that's done as a one-er, like a one-shot. Now, one-ers in a staircase aren't new. Atomic Blonde did it. Daredevil, the Netflix show's done one in a staircase as well. And so, but it's still really cool to see done in Bond. Look, I'm not going to say too much, but this is without a doubt my favorite James Bond movie. Highly recommend it. And I love how there's closure. They close this chapter well. I will say also, I thought it was really smart of the writers how, so there's been a lot of talk in the media. It's well, how come there can't be a girl James Bond? Or how come there can't be a black
we're getting
James
to that
Bond?
debate.
And all that. And I think the writers were smart and they kind of gave us a possible compromise. I don't know if they're actually going to do this, but what happens is in this movie, spoilers, James Bond, he retires for a little bit, but he has to come back because whatever. But when he comes back, he sort of sees how the agency has moved on without him, and he meets a new 007 because it's just a code name they can give out, and it's this actress. Her name is I gotta pull it up. I don't know, but basically, No Time to Die. She's really great. She's not in as much as I thought she would be. I felt like by the trailers she'd be like a lot more integral to the plot.
But she's just filling the code. She's not taking over the James
Well, that's
Bond
the
role.
thing. Sorry, yeah, her name is I think it's Lashana Lynch. I think her name. She plays this character called Naomi, who is like the new 007. But it's like she doesn't take over the spotlight. She's still a supporting character. In fact, there's another Bond girl. I think her name is. I think it's played by Anna Diamas. I'm sorry, I'm not good at these names, but IMDb open here. But what's cool about it, what I was going to say is, it's not like she's like saying it's not Jane Bond. She's a completely other character who takes the mantle as 007. She's not replacing James Bond. She's just adapting this same code name. And what happens is like there's a nice sort of like, I know there's often like there's a passing of a torch is a common thing, but here we've got like a passing back of the torch, because at one point as they're preparing, she's like, oh, what's your code name? She's like, I would like to make a request that James goes by 007 for this mission. And M's just like, fine, I don't care, just do whatever. But like, it's a nice thing where like she shows respect to him.
Yeah.
She acknowledges that he came before her. And so I feel like if the creators want to, if they were to do like a spin-off or another continuation in this universe
with
as
her.
007 with her, this Naomi character in there, I feel like no one is allowed to get mad, because they've literally like found some like loophole way that I think could make everybody happy.
And it's a different character, so
yeah, and she's a different character, but she's still 007, and she's good at being a spy. Like the way that she meets Bond, I don't want to spoil that, but like it's pretty cool. Like the way that she sort of infiltrates his world.
I could imagine like if you're like a diehard James Bond fan and she came in, it's like, okay, she's the main character now. This is Jane Bond. Male Bond pisses off. I could kind of get like, okay, that's just like kind of, pressing the hot iron against the leg. I understand why people would be pissed off about that. But if it's just like it's just taking over the code name. Like there's no need to like.
Yeah, and that's why I think if they were to do that, it's like you can't get mad at that. And also, it's not like she doesn't hog the spotlight. Like they've written her in a way that she's a supporting character. She doesn't take over. There's no like scene where like she steps in and it's like, never send a man to do a girl's job.
Yeah,
girl.
yeah,
like there's nothing like that. It's good. Like
it's in other words, it's written well. It's written well.
But like she's believable as a spy. She's believable. Like I believe that she could infiltrate some party and secretly poison someone's drink and get out with anyone knowing or something. I believe like when she shoots a gun, I buy it. Like it's Look, I don't know if that's the direction they will go. Like there's a good chance they could just recast Bond and do a whole new franchise, which is what they seem to do every 10 years or so. But I like. Yeah.
No, sorry.
If they continued it with her, I would be down. Because she's not overly in the spotlight. So I don't know if she could carry a film, but I'm keen to find out if she could. And yeah.
Well, I think they were saying something like Idris Elba and Tom Hardy were like in contention for the next Bond. I could see Idris Elba. Not so sure about Tom Hardy.
He's charismatic. He's great. Like if they were to do that, I could watch that. I also think Tom Hardy. I don't know. Like I haven't seen him in many roles where he talks a lot, outside of Venom, and you know how I feel about those movies. I feel like he plays he's great at playing a strong silent type. So some mystery. I don't know. Like I do like Tom Hardy, but all his best roles. He's got a mask on for some reason. Look, okay, we should talk about this. James Bond, right? So sorry, not James Bond. Dwayne Johnson. I always say Dwayne Johnson loves being in a jungle. Yeah. Or here's one. Tom Hardy loves wearing a mask. Like think about it. In Dunkirk, he's wearing a mask because he's.
This is going to be a TikTok. I can see this now.
Go on. I can't have that in. So here we go. Okay, we're starting it. Okay. So Dwayne Johnson loves being in jungles, right? We've established that, right? Right? Yeah?
Yep.
Tom Hardy loves wearing masks. Every movie, he's wearing a mask. Dunkirk, he's wearing a mask because he's flying the airplane. Mad Max, he's like wearing that weird thing over his face. Dark Knight Rises, he's Bane. He's like, oh, the you don't know the power of, he's got the mask on his face. In Venom, you could say he's wearing a mask. He got the thing over. Can you think of any other movies where Tom Hardy wears a mask? No? Okay, let us know in the comments.
No, like I've seen some of his smaller indie films he's done where he talks a lot. Like Bronson, he talks a lot. Have you seen Bronson? I think he's like, he's probably one of my favorite actors nowadays, to be honest.
He was good in Rock and Roller. I remember him Rock and Roller.
Yeah.
Who was he in Peaky Blinders? I haven't seen that in ages.
Oh, I haven't seen Peaky Blinders, but he plays like some Jewish gangster or something like that, or something along those lines.
I remember him. Actually, no, yeah, he was great in Peaky Blinders. I remember him now. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was great. He was actually really great. Sorry, continue.
He could pull it off, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of Tom Hardy around.
I feel like when you're casting James Bond, they're probably going to cast like a no-name, like someone we don't really know yet. Because Daniel Craig, he hadn't done a lot before he was James Bond, did he?
No, he hadn't. I don't think he'd done heaps. Like he'd been like appeared in a couple of big movies here and there, but he was like a sort of like a very side character kind of thing. But I thought he nailed, like, and again, like you, I'm not a big James Bond fan. I think I've seen all the Daniel Craig movies. I don't know if I've seen all of Casino Royale. And for the most part, besides Quantum of Solace, they're all pretty decent. So
yeah, I'd say Casino Royale. If No Time to Die is not my favorite, then it's Casino Royale. I think those two are pretty close.
I'd probably go maybe Skyfall, but I thought
Skyfall's great.
Casino Royale is really good as well.
That opening scene, Skyfall's so good.